Today we're delving into the chilling world of aviation mysteries, stories of planes that disappeared without a trace, leaving behind questions that have baffled investigators for decades. These cases aren't just tales of tragedy, they're windows into the unknown, fueling theories of everything from human error to extraterrestrial intervention. Prepare yourself as we explore some of the most perplexing disappearances in aviation history. In 2014, the world was rocked by the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. This Boeing 777 with 239 people on board was en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. It was a routine flight until, just 40 minutes after takeoff, the plane vanished from radar. 4 hours, loved ones waited for news, but none came. Instead, an international search began, one that would turn into the most expensive and extensive in history. Theories abound. Some suggest a catastrophic mechanical failure, others a deliberate act by the pilot, Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, who may have been battling personal demons. Investigators later found that the plane had veered off course and continued flying for hours before disappearing over the Indian Ocean. A few pieces of debris have been found scattered along the coasts of Africa and the Indian Ocean islands, but no definitive answers have emerged. The sheer vastness of the ocean and the lack of clear evidence have left this case open to endless speculation. Let's rewind the clock to December 5, 1945, Flight 19, a squadron of 5 Avenger torpedo bombers on a training mission over the Atlantic. These experienced Navy pilots departed from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, on what should have been a straightforward exercise. But shortly after takeoff, the lead pilot reported that his compass wasn't working. As the squadron tried to navigate back to base, they grew increasingly lost. Radio communications revealed rising panic among the crew. "We are entering white water. Nothing seems right. We can't tell where we are." Eventually, contact was lost entirely. A rescue plane was dispatched, but it, too, vanished. Flight 19 has become synonymous with the Bermuda Triangle, a mysterious area where ships and planes have allegedly disappeared for centuries. While some believe natural phenomena like magnetic anomalies caused the crash, others suggest extraterrestrial interference or even portals to another dimension. And then there's the legend of Amelia Earhart, one of the most famous aviators in history. In 1937, Earhart set out to circumnavigate the globe with her navigator, Fred Noonan. Flying in a twin-engine Lockheed Electra, they had already covered 22,000 miles when they reached the Pacific. But as they neared Howland Island, a tiny speck in the ocean, their radio signals became increasingly garbled. Earhart's last transmission indicated they were running low on fuel. And then, silence. Despite numerous searches, no trace of Earhart or her plane has ever been conclusively found. Some theorize she crashed into the ocean and sank, while others believe she landed on an uninhabited island and perished there. There are even wild claims that she was captured by the Japanese or lived out her days under an assumed identity. Earhart's disappearance is more than just a mystery, it's a cultural phenomenon, inspiring books, documentaries, and even conspiracy theories. Moving forward in time, we encounter the eerie case of Flying Tiger Line Flight 739, a military charter flight carrying 93 U.S. soldiers. In 1962, it disappeared over the Pacific Ocean en route from Guam to the Philippines. Witnesses on a nearby ship claimed they saw an explosion in the sky, but no wreckage or bodies were ever found. Was it sabotage? A mid-air collision? Or something more sinister? Official reports remain inconclusive, and the families of the victims continue to seek answers. In 1957, Pan Am Flight 7, a luxury trans-Pacific flight, vanished en route from San Francisco to Honolulu. When wreckage was found weeks later, investigators discovered unusually high levels of carbon monoxide in the passengers' bodies. Could there have been a cabin leak? Or was it something more nefarious like poisoning or sabotage? The mystery remains unresolved. One of the oldest aviation mysteries involves the Stardust, a British South American Airways plane that disappeared in 1947 over the Andes Mountains. The final message from the pilot was a cryptic stendek. For decades, no one knew what had happened, until wreckage was discovered in 1998, frozen in a glacier. But even with this discovery, the meaning of stendek remains a puzzle. Was it a distress signal? A garbled message? Or something else entirely? Another chilling case is Air France Flight 447, which disappeared in 2009 en route from Rio de Janeiro to Paris. The Airbus A330 encountered a violent thunderstorm over the Atlantic. In the chaos, the autopilot disengaged and the pilots, disoriented by conflicting instrument readings, struggled to regain control. 4 days, the world held its breath as search teams scoured the ocean. 2 years later, the black boxes were recovered from the depths of the Atlantic, revealing a fatal combination of technical failure and human error. The tragedy claimed 228 lives and raised critical questions about the reliance on automation in modern aviation. Even more bizarre is the story of British South American Airways (BSAA) flights in the late 1940s. These flights seemed cursed, with multiple disappearances over the Bermuda Triangle. Beyond the stardust, we have the case of BSAA Flight Star Tiger, which disappeared in 1948 with 31 people on board. The plane was nearing its destination in Bermuda when it vanished without explanation. Months later, another BSAA flight, the Star Ariel, also disappeared. Were these simply accidents, or was there something peculiar about BSAA's operations, or even the routes themselves? Let's not forget the strange phenomenon of planes that reappear after being missing for years. In one such urban legend, Flight 914, a Douglas DC-4, supposedly took off from New York in 1955 and landed in Caracas, Venezuela, 37 years later. The story, though widely debunked as a hoax, remains a haunting what-if scenario. Could time warps, parallel universes, or glitches in the fabric of reality explain the inexplicable? For a modern twist, let's consider the strange disappearance of private jets. In 2018, a small plane carrying Emiliano Sala, a professional soccer player, vanished over the English Channel. The wreckage was later found, but the case reignited interest in how small aircraft, even in the 21st century, can simply vanish with minimal explanation. This fuels speculation about the vulnerability of private aviation. These stories raise more questions than answers. What happened to these flights? Were they victims of human error, mechanical failure, or forces beyond our comprehension? Each case is a reminder of the mysteries that still exist in our technologically advanced world. And let's not overlook government secrecy. In some cases, it's suggested that flights may have been intercepted or diverted for reasons classified as national security. Whistleblowers claim that certain disappearances, particularly during the Cold War, were linked to espionage or top-secret missions gone wrong. Could some of these flights have been deliberately erased from public record? Each disappearance reminds us of the fine line between the known and the unknown. Despite advances in technology, some areas of our planet, like deep oceans or remote polar regions, remain almost as mysterious as outer space. And as aviation evolves, these mysteries become cautionary tales that continue to inspire both fear and fascination. If you're intrigued by these stories, don't forget to subscribe and join the conversation in the comments. What do you think happened to these flights? Let us know your theories, and suggest other topics you'd like us to explore. Who knows, maybe together we'll uncover something that's been hidden in plain sight.